What if I told you there's a single, powerful secret that connects the massive fortunes of people like Henry Ford and Thomas Edison? Well, author Napoleon Hill spent 20 years of his life hunting for it, and he laid it all out in his legendary book, Think and Grow Rich. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and unlock that very secret.
Now, Hill doesn't just hand you the secret on a silver platter. Oh no. He makes this really tantalizing promise. He says the secret is woven through the entire book, just waiting to reveal itself to those who are truly ready to see it. So the real question is, are you ready? Let's find out.
Okay, so this whole story kicks off with one of the richest men who ever lived, the steel magnate, Andrew Carnegie. He was absolutely convinced there was a repeatable formula for success, a secret he was willing to share, but he wasn't just going to give it away for free.
Carnegie threw down a challenge to a young Napoleon Hill. He asked him to dedicate 2 decades of his life, get this, without pay, to one singular mission. And that goal? To interview hundreds of self-made millionaires and boil down their shared principles into a philosophy that literally anyone can use to achieve their own success.
And the people he studied? I mean, they weren't just successful. These were the titans who literally built modern America. We're talking about inventors like Edison and Bell, industrial giants like Ford and Rockefeller, and even U.S. presidents. Hill became absolutely convinced that this one secret was the common thread connecting all of their incredible achievements.
So what's the first piece of this big puzzle? Well, it all starts with something Hill calls a burning desire. And to really get what that means, we need to look at the story of a man who had absolutely nothing but this desire.
Meet Edwin C. Barnes. This was a man with a single, all-consuming goal. He didn't just want to work for Edison, he was dead set on working with him, as a partner. Now there was just one tiny problem. He had no money, and he didn't even know Edison.
And this right here is a really crucial distinction. See, Barnes didn't just have a wish. A wish is passive, it's vague. Barnes had a burning desire. It was definite, it was an obsession, and in his own mind, his partnership with Edison was already a done deal. He just had to make it happen in the real world. He actually showed up at Edison's office looking like a tramp, but his mind was practically screaming his intention. And Edison saw that fire in his eyes and gave him a menial job. For months, Barnes just waited, holding on to that one desire. And when his one big chance finally came, he seized it, eventually forming the partnership that made him rich. As Hill put it, Barnes literally thought himself into a partnership with Edison.
Now, having a burning desire is the start, but it's pretty much useless without its twin sister, persistence. And Hill illustrates this with a really painful story he calls 3 Feet from Gold.
It's a question we've all asked ourselves, right? You hit a wall, nothing seems to be working, and every single part of you just wants to quit. But is that the right move? Well, let's see what happened to a man named R.U. Darby.
So, during the gold rush, R.U. Darby and his uncle got gold fever. They staked a claim, they started digging, and believe it or not, they actually found it, a shining vein of gold ore. They thought they were about to be massively, unbelievably rich.
So they mined the first few carloads, they paid for all their machinery, and started dreaming about the profits. But then, just as suddenly as it appeared, poof, the vein of gold was gone. They kept drilling, pushing deeper and deeper, but they found nothing but dirt and rock. All their hopes just evaporated.
And that's when they did it. They quit. Faced with what looked like total failure, they did what seemed like the logical thing. They sold all their equipment to a local junk band for a fraction of what it was worth and took that long train ride home completely defeated. But here's the absolute gut punch of a twist. The junk man, he was a little bit smarter than they thought. He hired a mining engineer who immediately saw their mistake. They didn't understand fault lines. The engineer did the math and calculated that the gold vein was still there, just 3 feet from where they had stopped drilling.
And that's exactly where it was. That junk man went on to pull millions of dollars in gold from that exact same mine. The Darbys were literally 3 feet away from one of the richest strikes in Colorado, but they stopped short. You can bet that lesson burned itself into Darby's mind for the rest of his life.
And this just brilliantly illustrates a common theme Hill found everywhere in his research. Success just loves to hide right behind the point of greatest despair. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure. It's almost always a test of your persistence.
Okay, so we've got burning desire, and we've got unwavering persistence. But these powerful forces are kind of useless without a channel, right? A vehicle to turn them from a feeling into a reality. And that brings us to the third critical component of the secret. See, you can't just want something and then stubbornly wait for it to fall into your lap. The secret demands action, and that action has to be guided by a definite, well-thought-out plan. An idea stays just an idea until you organize it into logical steps.
Just look at the creation of U.S. Steel. It started as this incredibly bold idea in the mind of Charles M. Schwab. But he didn't just daydream. He created a definite plan to unite the titans of the industry, Andrew Carnegie and J.P. Morgan. Fueled by that burning desire, he took decisive action, delivering a now legendary speech. And with sheer persistence, he saw that incredibly complex deal through to the very end, creating the world's first billion-dollar corporation.
All right, we've now seen all the major clues: that burning desire, persistence, and a definite plan. So let's put them all together to finally reveal the secret that Napoleon Hill believed could change literally anyone's life.
So, what is the secret? It's not some magic spell or a lucky charm. It's a fundamental shift in how you see the world. It's this profound realization that your thoughts are not just random noise in your head. They are real, tangible forces. A powerful, focused idea, when you nurture it properly, will transform itself into its physical counterpart, whether that's a fortune, a business, or any other goal you can possibly imagine.
And this whole system is built on the pillars we've just been exploring. It starts with a burning desire for a specific, definite goal. It's backed by an unwavering faith that you can achieve it. It's guided by a definite, practical plan. And it's driven by the persistence to see that plan through, especially when you feel like you're 3 feet from gold and about to give up.
And you know, here's the most empowering part of all of this. The starting point for this entire process, the raw material for building any achievement you want, is something every single one of us already has right now. It's the ability to choose and direct our own thoughts. That right there is the true beginning of all power.
So, really, the philosophy of Think and Grow Rich leaves you with a challenge. You now understand the secret. You know the power lies within your own mind. So the only question left is the one Napoleon Hill would ask you himself. What is your burning desire? What is your definite chief aim?